floating mountains, the shaman of song, cheeseburger pods, and a little attraction called Flight of Passage. This is why Pandora is the coolest land at Walt Disney World. Hey everybody, we're back with The Coolest Land, a series where I convince you that whatever land I'm standing in is the coolest and best land in all of Walt Disney World. I'm going to share some of the best details, the attractions, best snacks to convince you why Pandora, the world of Avatar, is the best land not only in Disney's Animal Kingdom, but the entire property. I hope you're ready. We got a lot to do. Sivako, baby. Let's jump into this one with the obvious, the floating mountains. Is there a more eye-catching and jaw-dropping display anywhere in Walt Disney World? I don't know, Castle Spaceship Earth may give it a run for its money, but these are absolutely incredible. They are mind-blowing. How did they do that? I'm not going to tell you, but the answer does lie in the Imagineering story if you want to know the behind the scenes. That's on Disney+. When you first walk in, obviously you see them floating high above us here, and you've got the little vines and the waterfalls, but as you weave through the queue at Flight of Passage, as you go down by Navi River Journey, you get an even better view of them. You're going to see some of the different flora and fauna. There's literally a working waterfall coming out of these things. Talk about a showstopper, talk about an eye-catching land. Pandora is hard to beat in that aspect, so floating mountains, absolutely one of the coolest things you'll see in Walt Disney World, and they are the icon here in Pandora. Number 2, we're going to keep going with the theme of the land itself, the details of the land itself, and tell you a little bit about the backstory of the land. Now, Pandora, the world of Avatar, this land takes place after the first Pandora film, when the RDA has come in. They're the bad guys that try and take all the resources from the natives, the Navi. They get beaten, as they always do in movies like this, Fern Gully, Pocahontas, by the good guys. Now, as it turns out, we are here on Pandora many, many light years away because of ACE, which is the Alpha Centauri Expeditions, which is a company that's working with the locals here on Pandora to bring us Earthlings for travel and tourism purposes. Because of this, you get a really cool juxtaposition throughout the land where you get all the nature effects, all of the natural elements, like all these strange plants, all of the strange sounds that you'll hear, little creatures throughout the lands, but then you also get very army, very metal, different things, and that is from the Earthlings. Like if you take a look right here when you first walk in across the bridge near Nomad Lounge, if you look closely, you'll actually see a downed helicopter, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that at all, but there is a real helicopter right there. It's overgrown with moss and vines and plants because the nature has taken over. So if you walk around and look at the land, it's really, really interesting that way. You'll see all of these different lights are made out of different pods and natural elements, and then the closer you get down to Satuli Canteen and Pongu Pongu, that is where the Earthlings live here on Pandora. You're going to see more of those army, more of those military aspects, a lot of metal, but it's kind of been taken over by the natural elements, so it'll be rusty and degrading, and it's just really cool, really neat details. I'll show you more of them when we get down that way, but you got to take a look at the theming, you got to take a look at the land itself. The detail in here is absolutely amazing. Of course, Pandora is not just about the incredible beauty of the land, though that certainly is one of the best things, but it's also home to some of the best eats and treats in all of Walt Disney World. And I'm about to share with you one of the most underrated snacks, not just here, but I'd say in all of Animal Kingdom, and that's right here at this very specific ice cream cart. Here it is. This is the Fruits of Moara frozen fruit bar. It has the ACE branding on it, so this is a Pandora treat. Now, sometimes you can find this at other ice cream carts around this park only. It used to just be here, but it is a frozen fruit bar that is just raspberry, strawberry, and lime. It's plant-based, it's refreshing. Listen here. I know that a popsicle is not the most exciting thing. I get it. But sometimes you just want a popsicle because it is so hot out here. And this is a really simple one, and it's great for my plant-based friends because it's just like sugar, juice, water, done. Would I recommend this over some of the other treats we're going to talk about? Probably not, but it's cool that they have their own branded popsicle, and you can enjoy it right here under the floating mountains, or when you're in that really, really long line for Navi River Journey. Take a little stroll with me as we head to our next thing. When I eat my popsicle. Like, just look at this land. It's unbelievably beautiful. Look at the detail in that. The moss, the water, the grass, the woven artwork, which is a spoiler alert for our next thing. Like I said, woven artwork was going to be a part of our next topic, and that is because it is this woven shaman of song as well as the woven banshee here in Pandora. Now, the shaman of song rightfully sits right outside of Navi River Journey, and the woven banshee sits outside Flight of Passage. Both of those are very fitting. They're the main characters in their stories. But I just think people, again, walk past this thing and they don't realize what it is. They don't take a look at the fact that this is, in fact, the shaman of song. They just think it's another piece of architecture. And I certainly think people walk past the banshee and don't realize that one. I absolutely adore this. I think the shaman of song is one of the coolest things in Pandora. We're going to get there in a second. Think about the fact that the Navi people would have made this. If you look at the different beading, it's all very natural elements. It's different woven twine. It looks like they would have dyed it naturally using some kind of blue plant, an orange plant, and red plant. It's just so cool, and I'm such a big Joe Rohde fan. He was the lead Imagineer on this land, and the attention to detail in here is just second to none. So it's so fun to walk around and look at all this stuff. And you guessed it, speaking of the shaman of song, the next thing on our list is Navi River Journey. And before you yell at me because you don't like Navi River Journey or you think it's overrated, I'm going to say to you, take out the fact that you waited in like a 60 or 70 minute line for it. Do you still think that's true? If you only waited 5 minutes to get on Navi River Journey, would you think that it's overrated? That answer's up to you, but for me, it's a pretty cool attraction because of mainly one thing and one thing only. I think we can all agree that the Shaman of Song animatronic is the best animatronic that Disney's ever built. It is incredibly lifelike, it is incredibly realistic, it is amazing to the point that when they first released it as a promo for this land, I thought it was an actress in makeup, but it was a robot that is unbelievably incredible. But I actually do like the rest of the attraction. I think a boat ride is a very quintessentially Disney style of attraction. I like looking at the different animals. Sure, I wish there were more animatronics throughout the whole thing, and sure, I wish that there was a real, space jaguar for me to pet. But I think it's a very fun family ride, again, with the asterisk that you don't wait too long for it. So if you don't want to count Navi River Journey on the list, I surely think we can all agree again to count the Shaman of Song. So she's the next one on why Pandora is the coolest. Surprise, surprise, the next thing on our list is another one of the many cool details of this land. I can't help it, there's just so many cool ones. And this one I think you're gonna flip out hand over foot for. I don't know if that's a real phrase. I was trying to make a pun because the next detail is hands and feet. You can spot signs of the Navi here at the exit of Navi River Journey. If you look closely, you can see gigantic Navi footprints. Of course, if you've seen the film, you know the Navi are pretty big compared to humans, and there's no better way to tell that than by looking at how big the foot is compared to your own. Mine's like, 2/3 as big as a Navi footprint? So this is a fun detail. This one is especially fun at night when this land lights up. Put a pin in that. We'll get to that later. But this is a fun detail. Maybe bring your kids over and have them compare their foot to a Navi foot. As far as the hands go, you're going to want to look as you exit Flight of Passage. In one certain passage, there are handprints on the wall, and they have the initials JR, JC, and JL. Those aren't just fun letters that the Navi decided to write. No, those are the handprints and the initials of James Cameron, the director of Avatar, John Landau, the producer of Avatar, and Joe Rohde, the lead Imagineer on the project. So cool hands and feet details to look for when you're in Pandora. The next thing on the list is this land at night. If you think this land is beautiful during the day, just wait till you see the bioluminescent forest light it up as soon as night falls. You see many of the things around you that you're looking at, including the plants, including these odd pods right here, including the ground, light up because we are in a bioluminescent forest. It looks absolutely amazing, and unfortunately a lot of people miss Pandora at night because they don't stay at Animal Kingdom that long. You're really doing yourself a disservice if you miss out on Pandora at night. Videos and photos do not capture the absolute stunning beauty. You can take some incredible pictures, and the fact that this whole place lights up with this bioluminescent glow is surely a point for why Pandora is the coolest land here. As you can see when you get down towards the eateries here in Pandora, this is again where you're going to see more of that military theme. You're going to see the metal and the rust, and you're going to see RDAs fading on the wall over here. You're going to see some leftover equipment and machinery, and it's just again a very cool juxtaposition with all of the natural things, and I love that they're letting the nature kind of take over the land. But we are right outside Pongu Pongu, which is a snack stand that packs a small but mighty menu. Basically everything on this menu slaps. There's some of the best snacks in Walt Disney World right here at Pongu Pongu, which means party party, and it literally is a party party for your mouth. So we are going to grab something right here, but let's first take a look at the menu. You have the Navi sized pretzel with beer cheese sauce. I would say the best of the giant pretzels in all of Walt Disney World. I know Morgan agrees with me. She talks about this pretzel all the time. You have the Pongo Lumpia, which is a cream cheese and pineapple spring roll. A rather divisive snack. People seem to love it or hate it. I'm on team love it, but that's a great quick little breakfast as well. You have their signature beverage, which is called the Night Blossom. It's apple and desert pear limeade, slush layered. It's got boba balls on top. You can booze it up if you'd like and make that a rum blossom, where they'll add a rum floater. There's also the Blue Moara Margarita, or if you want to have my favorite drink in Pandora, you can pick one of the draft beers, particularly the Hawks Grog Ale. Both the Hawks Grog and the Moara High Country Ale are craft beers made exclusively for Pandora, and if you know me, you know my favorite thing is when theme parks have craft beers made just for a certain land that you can't get anywhere else, and the Hawks Grog is actually my favorite. While in line right here at Pongu Pongu to grab something to drink, I do want to point out a little bonus fun detail you can look for. If you look at these dog tags hanging right here, these are pictures of Imagineer and people that worked on the land, and the one hanging highest of them all, if you zoom in, the legendary Joe Rohde and his earring, again, head Imagineer of Animal Kingdom as a park and this land in particular. We had a fruity cold drink. We're getting a savory eat in a moment, so from Pongu Pongu, I have selected, again, my favorite of the craft beers made exclusively for a theme park. This is the Hawks Grog Ale. Think of like a Blue Moon or some other kind of wheat ale or Hefeweizen, but it's got a really nice peach and apricot taste, plus it's apparently St. Patrick's Day all year round. It's a really nice beer. It's very refreshing on a hot day. It's a little bit heavier than a nice like light beer like a Pilsner, but it's not super duper heavy like an IPA. It's not as heavy as the other one. Plus, bonus, you can come drink it right here by the moss wall. These moss walls are kind of tucked away all around near where Flight of Passage exits, as well as Pongu Pongu and Satuli Canteen, and these are another of the famous Disney walls. I talked about this in the Tomorrowland video with the purple wall, but Disney walls are an Instagram social media thing. They make for great backgrounds. They're super duper cute, so you can come drink your green beer with the green wall. I did not plan this, but I also have a green shirt and green ears on, so I guess I'm Pandora themed today. I'm Disney bounding as this wall. Next up on our list, I'm talking about Wind Traders, which is the merchandise shop here in Pandora that has some of the most unique and fun and highly coveted merchandise items of any land. Even if you don't want to purchase anything from Pandora, I definitely recommend taking a stroll through here because you're going to see a couple of very fun things as well as a really cool detail and prop. First of all, this is where you can buy the legendary banshees that sit on your shoulder. And then they sit on your shoulder and they can move their heads and their wings, and they're very fun. A lot of people love these as a take-home. When these first debuted, they sold out quick, and they tend to sell out often. For the 5-year anniversary of Pandora that happened earlier this year, they dropped a lot of new merchandise, including this incredible lounge fly, which is a beautiful painting of Pandora on the back. You can also get a dope windbreaker with the same pattern. T-shirt, they have mugs. I don't know anyone that's this into Pandora that they want to make it their entire personality, but if that's you, I'm proud of you. Good for you. Be yourself. Don't have any shame. My entire personality is basically sharks and Buzz Lightyear, so I'm not here to judge you. Oh my gosh, there's like a Barbie. It's like a Barbie doll. Now, you used to actually be able to make one of you in this machine right here. That hasn't quite come back yet, but you could still buy one of the pre-made ones and then buy them little outfits. Stop it. This might just be the best souvenir of all. It's this beautiful windbreaker. It's got the bioluminescent mountains on it, but then on the back, kills me every time. It's the Shaman of Song animatronic. It's a picture of an animatronic on a windbreaker. It's ridiculous, but I kind of love it. Do I need it? Has anyone bought it? If you've bought this, you are amazing. Let me know in the comments. I envy you and your windbreaker. They don't have it right now in stock, but you may be able to find it on Shop Disney. They finally made a Disney candle that smells like Pandora, like Flight of Passage, Navi River Journey, that amazing smell that everybody's obsessed with. So that's a great one. They don't have it in here, but now, before we go, we are going to show you, oh my gosh, this cool t-shirt just caught my eye. Hold on, we're going to look at that, and then I'll show you the cool prop I was talking about. Look at this cool wood sprite shirt. It glows in the dark. There's also this one with the floating mountains and this one that's just got like dots. These are all glow in the dark. And I know I just said I don't I don't have any of this stuff, but I actually really like that wood spray one. But most importantly, here is the very, very cool prop. This is one of the models used in the film Avatar. It is Zoe Saldana, Queen Zoe Saldana, I should say. It's of Neytiri, and she actually has one in her house, which is amazing. But James Cameron gave this one to Disney to display here, so this was actually used in the film, which is amazing. Fun fact about Zoe Saldana, who plays Neytiri, she is the only actor to be in 3 of the top, I want to say 5 highest grossing films of all time, because she is, of course, Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy, so she is in Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Avatar. So, good for her. We love a queen. Zoe Saldana may be a sci-fi movie queen now, but to me, she'll always be the mean ballerina from center stage. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, or maybe that's just me, but we are headed into Satuli Canteen for the real reason that Pandora is the best land in Disney World. Here's some B-roll of the menu for when I talk about the things you can eat that aren't cheeseburger pods, in case you are a person who doesn't want a cheeseburger pod. Probably don't trust you, but I get it because the steak is tasty. Cheeseburger pods, the #1 reason that I come to Pandora. Gotta get that garlic herb dressing, y'all. That's my pro tip. Cheeseburger pods are a specialty here at Satuli Canteen. It's basically like you took a McDonald's cheeseburger and shoved it into a bao bun. This is the kids' meal portion, which I love to get because it comes with 2 sides. It can be little chips or clementine and a drink. It's either a small fountain drink or you can get a little baby bottle of water. As my pro tip, I always say to get the garlic herb dressing because it's like delicious ranch. There's also an adults portion which comes with 2 of the cheeseburger pods if you are looking to share or you want to make it a full meal and not just a snack like I have to do. This is one of the best, if not the best, quick service restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. It's definitely unique compared to classic theme park food. It is a little bit healthier. It's got a lot more variety. Pandora slaps with all of the food, but nothing is as good as the inspired by Joe Rohde's family recipe for the cheeseburger pods. And of course, if none of those things convinced you, if you're like cheeseburger pods, no thanks. Best animatronic in Disney? Not for me. I don't care about floating mountains. I do think the one thing we can agree on is that Flight of Passage is easily the best simulator attraction in all of Walt Disney World and one of the most popular rides here. Flight of Passage is the flagship attraction in this park. Like I said, it's incredibly popular and it puts you on the back of a Banshee as you fly over the Valley of Moara. It is a 3D simulator attraction. It uses the technology of Soarin', but with a fancy seat and 3D goggles, and it does feel incredibly realistic. It's a very relaxing thrill ride, I always say, because it's beautiful. You've got the wind blowing on your face, the music is incredible, you might feel a little spritz of water, but there are still a few thrilling moments when you run into some unfriendly species. Now, a lot of people get off this attraction and say it's their favorite attraction in all of Walt Disney World. I personally don't agree with that. I think Everest is better in this park. But I'm not going to blame you if you think that. It's a nice long attraction. It's like 4.5 minutes long. The pre-show is pretty iconic. And by the 120-minute wait that pretty much is constantly here, we all know this is a fan favorite. Well, friends, did I convince you that Pandora is the coolest land in all of Walt Disney World? If so, let me know. If not, let me know what you think is down in the comments, which land we should go to next. Now go watch Best Morning Ever at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Bye!